Hello, YouTube. Hi, it's me again. I am Kitty. It is lovely to see you. And as always, thank you for watching. I hope I can get some more subscribers. I figure, it's going to take a few years. I'm not in a hurry. And I'm going to be here and hanging out with you and sharing, my perspective. But this is going to be one of those videos about my mother. Ooh. Not a very nice person, I'll tell you. But I have some stories to tell you about her. See, she tried to kill me. And she told me she was trying to kill me. So it's not something you forget, But I don't focus on that so much because for me, there's an awful lot of girls out there right this minute that are suffering at the hands of narcissistic mothers who sometimes are coupled with alcoholic narcissistic mothers, and that's pretty bad as a combination. So I had that double. My mother was both, and I want to be here for all of them. Every girl out there suffering at the hands of this kind of person, and honestly, every boy who's suffering at the hands of a narcissistic mother or father or brother or sister. If you're handling life and dealing with a narcissist, I kind of have a pretty good idea of what it's like. I was raised in a house of one. And the additional damage that she caused me, well, it stays with me every day, and I have to deal with it, and that's fine. I think it's how you deal with things that really shows what kind of a person you are and what kind of a person you can be, And of course, I do have some good news, at least I hope. Tomorrow, I get to go for my first vaccine of 2, so I'm really looking forward to it. I'm a little bit nervous because I'm allergic to penicillin, and I was told that there's a potential that this AstraZeneca vaccine might have penicillin in it. If it does, I'm probably going to have a problem. So yeah, there is that. But we'll see. Hopefully it'll work out. I'm hopeful because I need to get this done. And I think at one point I did a video where I was telling you that I was about 15 millionth in line. I was actually listed as vulnerable, and somebody listened. I'm grateful to them for that because I'm able to get my vaccine, so I'm happy about that. And something you don't know, and this is since the last time we talked, obviously. My partner decided we're going to order some food, and so we did. Little did we know, what I ordered was tainted, or whatever you want to call it. It was inedible, and it left a problem. I've had food poisoning for the last 3 days. I'm on the 3rd day of it, so I'm still dealing with some issues, and it's really not pleasant. But, every day you get through it, you go through everything one day at a time. And, if I can deal with everything I deal with, you can surely deal with your stuff too. We'll get through it together, And I will be here, and if I can be of any help, or maybe in the future, some of you guys can talk to each other and work some problems out. Maybe I can be a mediator. I don't know, but I would like to try. Because I really think that communication is severely lacking in this world, as well as a really good planned investigation into the lack of mental health care, because that is a really big problem faced by pretty much every nation in the world. And as far as I'm concerned, ignore it at your peril. Because it's just getting bigger and bigger. It's looming on the horizon, and if you ignore it, it's not going away. people have problems, and you cannot ignore it indefinitely. You might think you can, but it won't be long before it'll be knocking on your, government door, parliament door, going, hey, what are you going to do about this? And it's a human crisis, and we need somebody to really look at that. I mean, we can't all do it ourselves. And the fact that, the government is just seemingly too eager to just ignore it, it just kind of irritates me. I saw a video tonight, which I have to say upset me. I try to keep this happy and upbeat, but of course it's inevitable I'm going to find something that isn't, and I want to talk to you about it. I saw a video tonight of this older man. You could tell by his voice, you could just tell. And he was running his own little convenience store, and this person comes in, and I'm not sure exactly what set the customer off, except for what he was vocalizing at the time, and he was calling the man every kind of derogatory name under the sun based on the man's skin color. So yeah, racism again, right? And as if that were not bad enough, he starts throwing things at this old man, pelting him in the head with whatever he could reach, screaming at him that he's going to go get a gun and he's going to shoot him, and that he would be justified because he's an American. And then he proceeded to tear down the guy's store. He tore up his cigarette displays. He took any kind of display he could get his hands on, basically, and just tore it apart. He took down this guy's store, I would say, 3/4 of the way in a matter of minutes. It was ridiculous. And it wasn't just that. He was advancing on the guy, too. He was coming closer and closer, and the man was pleading and begging. Please, please, help. Somebody help me. Where are the police? Help. He was on the phone. He was trying to get a hold of the police at the time. And eventually, he ended up hiding in a closet in his own business while this guy was rampaging and destroying his store. And from what I can tell, it was all based on racism. I am English and I am American, but most of all, I'm human. I live on Earth. I share planet Earth with everybody. And I would think if you come from a place of privilege, you should use that privilege to help other people, not to treat people the way that guy did. It was unconscionable. I was so shocked, and yet not at the same time. I felt so bad for him. I felt so bad for that man, and I can only hope that he found some sort of justice. I hope the police helped him. I really do, because there's no excuse for treating someone like that. I don't care if you don't like the way they look. Walk away. If you don't like the way somebody's religion makes them dress, walk away. You have no right to tell them how to dress, how to act. If they're not hurting someone and they're just dressing in a way that's appropriate to their own faith, whatever that is, if it's the Jewish faith and they're wearing, their appropriate headgear, that's what they should be able to wear. And you have no right to tell them otherwise. None. I wonder sometimes about this world. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But then again, I've heard excuses over and over again about racism. Well, I was raised that way. I didn't know any different. Or they use that as an excuse. Well, wake up. Because I was raised in a house full of racism. My mother and my father were both horrible racists. And I couldn't accept it. Something inside me said it was wrong, and I knew it was wrong. And I tried talking to them. I tried to reason with them. Anytime I disagreed with my parents about it, they would call me a race traitor. All I wanted was just for people to treat each other with dignity and respect, to listen when somebody's talking to them, to try hard to understand what it might be like to be the other person. It's not an easy thing, but you can do it. If you try, if you care enough, you can do it. But the one thing I really learned from my parents, and I will say this over and over again, is I learned what not to do and who not to be. And you know what? For that, I can say thank you for that. Because I had a prime example. And I'm about to share 2 stories with you, maybe more if I can think of them, of some things that I lived through and that my mother was guilty of. At one point, out of curiosity, I asked my mother, I said, okay, what happens if you were caught somewhere? Say you fell into some place and you couldn't get out. And no matter how hard you tried to do it on your own, you couldn't. And the only person that would offer to help you was black. Would you take their help? And I hoped with all my heart for the right answer. But she looked at me and she said, I would rather die. How do you reason with that? Even though I know deep down, I bet you, she would still take that hand and she would slap it away the minute she got what she wanted. You know? And that makes it even worse. How could somebody be so stupid? I'm sorry, but that's stupidity. And yes, I know it's my mother, and I know that people will be up in arms about this and say, oh, you should respect your mother. I tried. But how do you respect someone when they abuse you your entire life, condition you to accept the abuse? You know, how do you do that? Like, there are things that I've read and I've seen, and there are times when I was growing up that I hated myself so badly. Whenever I would speak, I would say things like, oh, you don't have to listen to what I'm saying. It's okay. Don't mind me. I'm sorry if I'm annoying you. It's okay. Don't worry. I mean, I'm probably wrong anyway. And it's like I was sabotaging myself. Like I knew that what I was saying was right, but I'm so used to being surrounded by people that would just belittle me to the point where I doubted everything I would say. That's what a narcissist will do. If you don't know what you're facing, they will do that to you. They will make you doubt everything that you are. And the more you feed into it, the more they'll react, and the more they will mistreat you. It's terrible, really. And just think, there are children right now on this planet, right now, dealing with mothers like mine. It just repeats itself over and over again, and I feel so bad about it because I can't lift them out of that. I want to. I want to lift them out into some place safe. My whole life I felt like an alien on this planet because I would look at family units, and I know that everybody has problems. I know that. Especially family members. I know that. I get it. But your family problems don't usually include somebody who smiles and tells you how they tried to kill you, right? I mean, if they did, okay, well then you might understand where I'm coming from a little bit more. But I will tell you this, there are some mothers on this planet that really shouldn't have been. I'm fairly certain of that. And I don't know. I just think that it would have been nice to have somebody be more motherly. You know, I wanted to be that daughter. I wanted to be that one who would have that time with her mother. I mean, I remember even calling her when I was in the Air Force, and I would call her and ask her for advice because there were things I just didn't know. She'd never told me, and even then she was no help. But, you know, you learn you have to be stronger. You have to be strong enough to stand on your own. That's what having a narcissistic mother will do in a lot of cases. It will force you to be stronger than you've ever known you were capable of. You'll find strength in places that you didn't even know you had within you. You know, the night I ran away from home, I was 19. And I had been planning it for days. I found my important documents and I stowed them in my bag. And this bag was like, you know those military duffel bags? The big long green ones? It was about the size of that. It had no wheels on it, nothing. And that's all I had, plus a backpack with my stuff in it. And I dragged it for 4 miles from the town I lived in. There's a lake. It's 4 miles out. I dragged it down that road all the way into town and knocked on a friend's door who was not expecting me, but she let me in with open arms. And a few hours later, my parents showed up at the door, and there was no kindness there. There was nothing nice. And she had this really, I don't know, it was like just this horrible look on her face. Like triumphant almost. I don't know. But she said, I want all of your things because I paid for them. They're mine. I want all your clothes. And I don't know what got into me that night, but I said no. I said, you bought them for me. They fit me. They're mine. And I'm sorry that you feel that way, but I'm not coming home. And I could have been a lot more, you know, I'm sure I could have been a lot more bratty. I could have been meaner about it. I could have cussed at her. I was so tired, and I didn't want to fight anymore, because that's all you do with her. She's not a fun thing. So yeah, eventually she left. She didn't take my stuff. But that's how I got out. I ran away. Because she was trying to plan my life for me. And I know a lot of people can resonate with that. They're like, oh yeah, I get that. But she was a nightmare. I mean, just an utter nightmare. One time I came home from school, and she was shouting at the television really loudly too, so I knew I would have to hide because it was the only way I was going to survive that evening. So, but I didn't have any other way in, so unfortunately I had to pass by her, and she's shouting at the TV all sorts of stuff, and of course racism reared its ugly head and is like, hey, hi, how are you? I'm going, I think I was about 16, maybe 15. And she said the most awful thing. And I want you, the listener, to know this. What she said is vile and disgusting and horrible. And I do not for a second agree with her, okay? She looked at the TV and she was saying, All of these, pick a very negative, derogatory word to describe a black person. All of these need to go back where they came from. And they need to stick a Pakistani under each arm while they're at it. Just get them out of this country. Now I'm standing there, appalled, shaking my head, as imperceptibly as possible, as I was hoping she wouldn't notice. But then I thought, no, I can't. I can't keep my mouth shut. I have nothing to lose. What's she going to do to me that she hasn't already done? Screw it. So I looked at her and I said, okay, well, do you want me to pack your bags or do you want to do it yourself? She turned really slowly and she was really like starting to color red. And she's like, what? And I said, well, you immigrated to America. Would you like me to pack your bags or would you like to do it yourself? Because you should go back where you came from too, since you're not an American citizen either. Because she wasn't. She hadn't naturalized. And I thought, if you're going to be so hateful towards people, how about a taste of your own medicine? And it's true. She was an immigrant to America, and she had found a comfortable place, and she had become entitled, and decided that she was in a safe place, safe enough that she could speak ill towards these other people. Isn't that awful? Ugh. It's so horrible. Like, I would never treat someone like that. No, never. And I know we can do better. And look, if I can be raised in a house full of racists, proud freaking racists too, I will add. My father's side, even my grandmother on my mother's side, from what I understood from her, was a racist. I will never be a racist. In fact, the truth is, there was something that I was reading about a long time ago, and it said something along the lines of, unless you're willing to die for what you believe in, you don't really have much, you don't really believe in it, you don't really care that much. But if you're willing to die for what you believe in, then it is incredibly important to you. And I can tell you right now, I would do almost anything. I would do anything to make racism stop. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of seeing it, I just saw the host of a show that I like to watch. And he went to vacation in Italy. And he was treated like dirt because he was brown. Why? I don't get it. But you know what? We'll get there. We will get there. And I am going to be one of the people leading the pack. I will be there along with you. And that's all the stories I have about my mother. For now. There's a whole bunch more. But I like a lot of music. And there is a music group that I found called, I believe, We Are the Flesh. And they are amazing. And yes, the music is what you would consider hardcore. I love that. I love that kind of sound. So I'm going to link below their channel, and I would highly recommend that you go check out their band. It's really good. The vocals are intense, and the emotion behind it is so real, and we need that. We need that kind of emotion in this world. We need people to stand up for what they believe in. And I don't mean stand up for racism, as I'm really tired of hearing racists just run their mouth. Racism needs to come to an end. I'm sick of it. And I'm never going to stop saying that. So if you don't like what I'm saying, there's a whole channel of, YouTube stuff out there. Go look. You'll find something out there that you like. Because they're just letting racists say whatever the heck they want. But I will not be one of them. I will not go quietly into the night. No way. So, the final thing I was going to talk about is this. And then I am done. And this is nothing to do with my mother. Or maybe a little bit. I don't know. I just heard one of Trump's lawyers, or former lawyers, the lady who was basically saying that Hugo Chavez had come back from the dead and disrupted the election, and that's one of the reasons why he lost, etc., etc. And then, I believe it was today, maybe yesterday, but the excuse that they're giving in order to fight back from these very large lawsuits now is, well, I wasn't being serious. I mean, surely you knew what I was saying wasn't serious, right? And there have been several of them that have used that very excuse. So I have a solution. I do. And it's great. Because right now, and even back in the 80s, 90s, it's been going for a while, toy guns that looked real, people thought were real. And they were reacting like it was real. So there were people getting shot and killed because they were pointing these toy guns at people. And they thought, oh my gosh, they're going to shoot me. Well, come to find out, it was just a toy gun. I have a solution for Fox News and any other so-called news corporation that likes to proliferate antagonistic style news and things that riles people up. In order to differentiate between the guns that are real and not, there have been several proposals that make them look like fluorescent amalgamations of bright colors and glitter and whatever you have to do to make it not look like a real gun. Well, Fox News, if they're continuing to use these excuses to justify their actions, I believe what they should use is one of those little banners that goes around the screen, and it should be some sort of like a circus. So you get the theme and you know that this is fun time, or maybe this is like, it's not real, but it's entertaining, And, and also, I have to say, those little planes that people hire, then they have those little messages, and they've been hiring an awful lot of those for Trump in support of him. And I thought, that is an idea that I can get on board with. What they should do with Fox News and its ilk is on the banner on the front page, when they've established a good enough graphic to make sure that people know that it's not real news, they should also have a little plane with a little banner, and it says, as a reminder, this is not real news. And of course, after a certain period of time when, people go to bed, they could get maybe, a little bit more colorful with their language. That's what I think. But I mean, again, if they're going to keep using these excuses, then put your money where your mouth is and make sure that you differentiate the news that you're sharing with the world and inform people that it's not real before more people die because people believe what they're saying. Cool? Because I really think we could do a whole lot with, that theme, like have a little banner going by, this is not real, folks, this is just entertainment, which, if I'm not mistaken, is exactly what they were saying it was too. the lawyer and everybody else is just basically kind of gaslighting everybody, going, oh, we didn't mean it. It wasn't real. No. You believe that? Really? Oh, come on. Well, clearly, lots of people really did believe it. So you're going to stick to that line of thinking. I really think you should have to pay the consequences. And those consequences are going to be really colorful, clear, and easily understood. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys. I hope you like my ideas, and this is the longest video I've ever done. Wow. But I have a lot of really great things coming. I have a whole lot of ideas, and please subscribe, sign up, get all my alerts, and I hope I can get some more people to subscribe to my channel, because I really look forward to talking to you guys and getting to know you better. All right, well, this is Kitty. I'm going to go, and I'm going to put some links at the bottom for some of the, for that band that I mentioned. And, yeah, I hope you have a really great rest of your evening, and I will try to upload some more stuff as soon as I possibly can. You guys have a great evening. Bye. Mwah. Kisses.